In the ancient hills of Judea, the city of Jerusalem stood as a symbol of strength, faith, and defiance. But in the fateful years of 587 to 586 BCE, the city faced a devastating siege, one that would alter its destiny forever. This was the Second Siege of Jerusalem, a military campaign led by the powerful King Nebuchadnezzar II of Babylon. It marked the end of an era, the destruction of the First Temple, and the beginning of the Babylonian exile. Join us as we dive into the political intrigue, military conflict, and historical significance of this momentous event. To understand the Second Siege, we must first step back to the geopolitical situation of the time. The Kingdom of Judah was a small state caught between two mighty empires, Egypt in the west and Babylon in the east. In 605 BCE, the Babylonians, under Nebuchadnezzar II, decisively defeated the Egyptians at the Battle of Carchemish, securing their dominance over the region. Judah, once a vassal of Egypt, was forced to shift its allegiance to Babylon. This political maneuvering set the stage for years of tension, rebellion, and eventual catastrophe. At the heart of Judah's resistance was King Zedekiah, the last monarch of the kingdom. Installed by Nebuchadnezzar as a puppet ruler, Zedekiah was torn between loyalty to Babylon and his people's desire for independence. Pressured by court advisors and external alliances, he made a critical mistake, rebelling against Babylon. In 589 BCE, Zedekiah forged an alliance with Egypt, hoping to secure militaristic aid against Nebuchadnezzar's empire. But this decision would bring ruin not only to his reign, but to the entire kingdom of Judah. Nebuchadnezzar responded with swift and brutal force. In 589 BCE, the Babylonian army marched south, laying siege to Jerusalem. The city's walls, a proud testament to its ancient might, faced the wrath of siege engines, battering rams, and relentless assaults. For nearly 2 years, Jerusalem endured a drawn-out and harrowing siege. Its citizens suffered from famine, disease, and constant fear, while Babylonian troops surrounded the city, cutting off supply lines and escape routes. Military leadership under Nebuchadnezzar was highly organized and efficient. The Babylonian king was a master strategist, utilizing psychological warfare and unrelenting pressure to break Jerusalem's defenses and morale. Meanwhile, King Zedekiah's leadership faltered. His reliance on aid from Egypt proved futile as the Egyptians failed to deliver a meaningful counterattack against Babylon's overwhelming power. In the summer of 587 BCE, the Babylonians breached Jerusalem's walls. The city's defenses, weakened by years of siege, crumbled under the assault. Babylonian forces poured into the city, bringing death and destruction. The streets of Jerusalem became rivers of fire and blood as Nebuchadnezzar's army systematically dismantled the city's infrastructure. The climax of the siege was the destruction of Jerusalem's most sacred site, the First Temple, built by King Solomon centuries earlier. The temple was the spiritual heart of the Jewish people, a place where faith and identity converged. Its destruction was an unimaginable loss. Babylonian soldiers looted its treasures, desecrated its holy artifacts, and burned it to the ground. The temple's fall marked not only the end of Jerusalem's resistance, but also the unraveling of religious life in Judah. As the smoke of Jerusalem's ruins rose into the sky, King Zedekiah attempted to flee. But his escape ended in tragedy. Babylonian forces captured him near Jericho and brought him before Nebuchadnezzar. The Babylonian king punished him harshly for his rebellion, ordering the execution of Zedekiah's sons before his eyes, and then blinding him, condemning him to spend the rest of his days in chains. With Jerusalem in ruins, Nebuchadnezzar turned his attention to the people of Judah. Thousands were killed, while tens of thousands more were taken into captivity. The Babylonian exile began, a forced migration that saw the elites, priests, and artisans of Judah scattered throughout the Babylonian Empire. The exile was a period of profound trauma for the Jewish people, as they struggled to preserve their identity and beliefs far from their homeland. The Second Siege of Jerusalem had far-reaching consequences. Politically, it consolidated Babylonian control over the region, eliminating the rebellious kingdom of Judah. Militarily, it showcased Nebuchadnezzar's power and ruthlessness, solidifying his legacy as one of ancient Mesopotamia's greatest rulers. But perhaps most importantly, it carried immense historical and spiritual significance for the Jewish people. The destruction of the First Temple marked the beginning of the Jewish diaspora and reshaped the course of Judaism itself. In the years that followed, Jerusalem bore the scars of its destruction. Its people carried the memory of the siege in their hearts, clinging to hope for a future redemption. The Hebrew prophets, such as Jeremiah, who had warned against rebellion and foretold disaster, became voices of reflection and resilience. Their writings served as a source of guidance and inspiration during a time of great despair. Today, the Second Siege of Jerusalem serves as a powerful lesson on the intersection of politics, war, and faith. It reminds us of the fragility of nations and the resilience of human spirit in the face of devastation. And so the story of the Second Siege is not just a tale of ruin, it is a story of survival, renewal, and the long arc of history. From the ashes of Jerusalem's destruction rose a faith and culture that would not only endure, but thrive, shaping the future of humanity in ways that continue to resonate today. This was the Second Siege of Jerusalem, a turning point in history that reminds us of the power of resilience and the lessons of the past.
Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel.